Hello guys, ATCG here, League Series, tournament report. We are back with our local tournament. Unfortunately, due to the virus situations, the tournaments are not big enough, but we are here to present you the top 4 deck profile. Name yourself.
Okay, my name is Alex, and I was playing Traptrix today. It's one of my favorite decks of all time, and I just thought of taking it for a spin in a local tournament after so long because the virus has really been annoying when it comes to the Yugioh community. Um, it's really sad that the players are facing such a nuisance when playing the game. The tournaments are really small, basically because many people are really afraid of the virus, and it's perfectly normal to be afraid of such a pandemic. However, it has really taken a toll on the game. But at least I'm glad that I was able to meet a couple of people to play my favorite game with. And I had a lot of fun today, and I just wanted to thank everyone for playing with me, for training with me, and for having a good time.
Okay, so first question. Why did you choose Traptrix instead of all the meta decks?
Well, the obvious question is that I love my deck. And the second reason is I really enjoy the fact that it actually interacts with the opponent in very interesting ways. They're really powerful normal trap cards in the game right now, and Traptrix can pretty much take advantage of all of them, and these trap cards can really make a dent on my opponent's plays. And basically, there are times that I can just OTK my opponent turn 2 because Sarah, in combination with so many powerful trap cards, is absolutely awesome.
Okay, so what were your matchups today?
My matchups were Dragon Link, the best deck in the format, but it wasn't that hard to be honest. I like honestly the Dragon Link matchup is not that hard for me because usually the end board is just Dragoon and Savage, and if I'm going first, I have many ways of outing all of my opponent's, let's call them ace monsters, and Super Polymerization pretty much clears their strongest monsters, which is why it's in my side deck. Then it's Numeron, Eldritch, and I have to give props to Mermelio and Emily Match for this, because Mermelio, the second effect of Mermelio to destroy spells and traps is awesome. Sky Strikers with Mystic Mine, disgusting. But yeah, it was a kind of a hard matchup, but I could keep up with my opponent, especially since I play only once, since the main plays to just Sarah set 5 pass. And finally, Infernoble. It was really hard, but I had a lot of fun with it. And then I just lost to Shadow Invoked, which was really annoying. I thought I was going to win that matchup. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, so what's your opinion on the future format now that the new set is coming out?
The current format is really not defined, but it's really weird that the new set is coming up and we don't know any of the meta decks that we're gonna face. I'm pretty sure that PK and I'm pretty sure that Zodiac is gonna be tier 1, but I really cannot say anything for other decks. I was just hoping that Invoked Eldritch and let's say Invoked Eldritch and Infernoble would just also be tier 1 because they didn't get their spotlight, the time on the spotlight. That's it.
Okay, so let's go to the deck profile.
All right. So starting off with the monsters, I play 3 copies of Traptrix Mermelio. She's the best normal summon in the deck, turn 1. She searches an interruption and she turns into Sarah, and it's absolutely awesome. She's basically, if you open her with a couple of traps, it's honestly the safest and best play the deck has. I played 3 copies of Traptrix Dionea. She's basically Wolfbark. You normal summon her, and then you can special summon any Traptrix level 4 in any Traptrix in general in defense position. And she just really helps you make some Xyz monsters, make Sarah. This is really awesome. I also played 3 copies of Mantis. The main thing I do with her is normal summon her turn 1 to just search Dionea for turn 2, or turn 3, I guess. But she's the second best normal summon on turn 1. And then I display 1 Ginlesia because he allows me to recover some of my traps, and just 1 Nepenthes. This is when I have a lot of traps and I am sure that I can trigger multiple traps and trap holes in the same turn, so that I can get an extra search or a special summon. So yeah, she's the main, let's call her, the main monster to summon when I'm sure that my opponent cannot out my plays. And obviously, 1 Scythe. Sanctum is extremely powerful in this format. Every deck in this format right now special summons from the extra deck, and this pretty much shuts them all down in an instant. it's also really hard to add because if your opponent has a monster on the field, I cannot see how my opponent can stop it. If, for example, someone I flip this, Gamma is not useful, Impermanence is not useful, this card's great.
Don't you brick with it?
Alright, so yeah, I do obviously brick with Scythe a lot. In fact, I played 43 cards and I still draw the Scythe. But yeah, it's really sad when that happens. But hopefully my opponent has a card like even a Lightning Storm or any other card that can possibly destroy and trigger Scythe. But yeah, if you draw it, it's unfortunate. And this is the only hand trap I play in the main deck, other than, Impermanence. Nibiru, because I say that Dragon Link is an easy matchup, but if you're going second, it's really hard to actually deal with them. So Nibiru just pretty much destroys their entire field. It's really hard to stop Nibiru, especially when they drop Borload Savage Dragon. You could just chain Nibiru and just wipe him out and wipe a lot of monsters out. This card is amazing, and in this format, it's almost a must to have in the main deck. For the spells, I just play 3 Desires. Desires, it's just draw power. I really don't have much to say about this. It's just Desires. You just draw 2 cards. And time for the traps, the most important part of the deck. And for the traps, I play 3 copies of Traptrix. This card is an instant searcher for any normal trap in your entire deck. And usually most of the traps you just play at 3, so you can search pretty much all of them. Then you play 3. Sanctum. Just hope you draw this and not Scythe. And 3 Compulsory Evacuation Device. This card is a 1-for-1, but at the same time, it has many applications because it's so easy to activate. You can activate this on your opponent's monster because one of the easiest things your opponent can do, especially if they just know if they have if they have just read Sarah, they will just normal summon a monster that has more than 800 attack points and attack over Sarah. At least you have the opportunity to just chain Compulsory Evacuation Device and prevent your Sarah from being destroyed and trigger her at the same time. This is the best trap in the entire deck. This is absolutely amazing. DDG is just amazing. The moment you flip this, your opponent, Dragon Link, is honestly really screwed, and you have most decks that just really rely on summoning, and combo decks are just extremely screwed, and it's probably good against any deck, and you don't really have any drawbacks when using it, other than not having enough materials, I suppose, for Diana to recover. But when you normal summon Traptrix, you just turn it into Senna, so usually you don't really care about it anyway. Alright, next we have the 3 copies of the Ice Dragon Prison. This card is really freaking good. It's an instant out Dragoon, because if your opponent has Dragoon on the field, this is honestly one of the few, if not the only out you have. And it's honestly great. It's generally amazing against most decks, so yeah, this card is great in every way possible. For the Trap Hole cards I play in the deck, I play 1 Grave Trigger, Trap Hole. This card is not as good right now with the build I'm playing, but it's still pretty amazing. You have 1 Nightmare, 1 Network Trap Hole. This card is great. I use this to banish Eldritch, which is honestly really good. You summon with Elixir, and then you just use this and banish it. You have 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, and that's pretty much it for the Trap Hole part of the deck. Then we have the second hand trap that I play in the deck, which is Infinite Impermanence. It has an amazing synergy with Traptrix, so I just love using it. And it's really good at going first, really good at going second. It's just an amazing trap card overall. Then 2 copies of Torrential Tribute. The thing is, Sarah's unaffected by traps, so you can activate this when your opponent summons any monster. So you destroy your opponent's entire field and then trigger Sarah to summon a monster from the deck. And finally, I play 3 copies of Solemn Judgment, because that random guy with Evenly Matched really sucks. And that's it. Alright, and finally, for next deck, I play 2 copies of Traptrix Sarah.
Why not 3?
Look, most people play 3 and I can see why, but with my build I find it so easy to protect Sarah that I don't really mind playing just 2 copies. In fact, I had more space to play other monsters that I was really having trouble putting in the deck, so just remove the 3rd Sarah and play 2. Most people don't like it. I'm sure most people will disagree with my opinion, but I really enjoy playing just 2 Sarah. 3 is great, but 2 is enough. That's my opinion. 1 Mrs. Radiant. This card is great for dealing damage, especially when you interrupt your opponent going first. You interrupt your opponent, you can just summon a lot of monsters, and Mrs. Radiant just really deals a whole lot of more damage. And 1 Warlord Dragon. This is all for the Link monsters. This is most easy to summon and most consistent Link monster to pull its effect off. Then I play 1 copy of Starting Venom Fusion Dragon, the only target for Super Poly I'm going to need. And then I just play 1 Exterio and 1 Raid Raptor Ultimate Falcon. These 2 are just for the what's it called? These 2 are just for the Waking the Dragon, and they're really amazing. I usually summon Falcon most of the time, but Exterio is just a great backup option. 1 Stars Dragon. You will see why I play a really amazing card that really puts a lot of work in this format. 1 Tornado Dragon, 1 Cowboy, 1 Samurai, 1 Redoer, 1 Utopia, 1 Utopia the Lightning. I don't play double because I also play 3 Desires, and I much prefer having the possibility to draw more Traptrix than banishing my Traptrix and drawing a dead card in my hand. And then I just play 1 Rafflesia. And that's all for the Xyz monsters of the deck. And finally for side deck, I play 3 copies of Super Polymerization, an instant Alpha Dragoon, and a really important card in this format. Then 3 copies of Blizzard. This is a really underrated card. It negates any spell, and this is great against Lightning Storm, and Lightning Storm has really been a pain against my deck, which is why I played this card. 3 copies of Starlight Road, and this card is simply amazing. Your opponent just doesn't see this card coming. You just activate Starlight Road when your opponent says activate Lightning Storm, and then you summon a Stardust Dragon, and you have protection. You protect yourself from a first Lightning Storm, and then in case of the second one, you just protect yourself again, and you have a 250-100 attack body. Then 3 copies of Waking the Dragon, because this card, in case you don't draw these, this card is amazing, and this also triggers against more control decks that play things like Heavy Storm Duster, etc. And finally, just 3 copies of Evenly Matched, because going second really sucks for this deck, and this card is just amazing. So, yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you.
I hope we will see you again in our next tournament. Everybody, stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.